Autism remains one of humanity's most misunderstood experiences. It's been called a disability, an identity, and even a disease, yet it defies simple labels. Most of us encounter autism daily without realizing it, obscured by myths and stereotypes. Today, we unravel its true nature, a neurodevelopmental condition with profound historical shadows. Our journey begins with what autism is, and why erasing it became a tragic goal. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, shapes how individuals process the world. Core traits include unique communication styles, repetitive movements, and sensory sensitivities, like overwhelm from bright lights or loud sounds. Many autistic people develop intense special interests, diving deep into subjects they cherish. Social interactions can be challenging. Eye contact may feel invasive, and unfiltered honesty is often mistaken for rudeness. Routine provides stability in a chaotic world. Yet autism isn't a monolith. Imagine a color wheel, not a linear scale. Each person's traits blend uniquely. Half of autistic individuals also have a learning disability, but autism itself is not one. To navigate society, many autistic people mask, consciously or subconsciously hiding their traits. Diagnosis often starts in childhood through specialist evaluations, taking years to complete. But countless adults, especially women, discover their autism later. Hormonal shifts, like childbirth or menopause, can unmask hidden traits. Some, like the creator of From Alex, self-identify without formal diagnosis. Acceptance, not labels, becomes their compass. Before the 20th century, autism was bundled with other conditions. Historical figures like Isaac Newton and Thomas Jefferson displayed traits: Newton's obsessive focus, Jefferson's aversion to eye contact and noise. Mozart cycled through rehearsed facial expressions and became physically ill in loud settings. In 18th century Scotland, Hugh Blair of Borg, nicknamed the Daft Laird, was disinherited for behaviors we now recognize as autistic, rigid routines, and social obliviousness. Terms like idiot trapped countless autistic people in a cruel, indiscriminate net. The term autism entered medicine in 1910, coined by Swiss psychiatrist Eugen Bleuler. He linked it to schizophrenia, viewing autistic traits as escapism from reality. This conflation persisted for decades. Meanwhile, in 1924 Moscow, Soviet psychologist Grunya Sukhareva pioneered the first comprehensive autism study. Working in a sanatorium, she documented children's behaviors, noting gender differences and distinguishing autism from schizophrenia. Her term autistic psychopathy laid groundwork later overshadowed by a darker figure. Hans Asperger, an Austrian physician, rose in Nazi-occupied Vienna. Aligning with the regime, he joined Nazi-affiliated groups and collaborated with architects of racial hygiene. At Spiegelgrund Clinic, part of the T4 euthanasia program, disabled children were starved, gassed, or injected to death. Asperger referred children there, framing autism through the Nazi lens of Gemut, innate compliance with fascist society. Those deemed incurable were murdered. Post-war, he reinvented himself as a Nazi opponent, escaping consequences. His 1944 paper on autistic psychopathy borrowed Sukhareva's work, but omitted her humanity-centered approach. In the 1970s, British psychiatrist Lorna Wing challenged the belief that autism was rare and male-dominated. After her daughter's diagnosis, Wing found autism in 1 in 100 people, not 1 in 10,000. She encountered Asperger's research but rejected his hierarchy. In 1981, she coined Asperger's syndrome to describe autistic people with low support needs, but later championed the autism spectrum model. Her mantra, see each child as an individual. By 1994, her framework reshaped global diagnostics, debunking rigid categories. Autism entered mainstream consciousness with films like Rain Man, 1988, which showcased autistic genius but simplified realities. Public figures like Anthony Hopkins, diagnosed at 70, humanized the spectrum. Then, in 1998, Andrew Wakefield published a fraudulent study linking vaccines to autism. The Lancet retracted it, and Wakefield lost his medical license, but not before media hysteria caused measles outbreaks. The damage lingers. Fear overshadowed science. Applied Behavior Analysis, ABA, developed by Ole Ivar Lovis in the 1960s, aimed to cure autism through compliance training. Children were rewarded for masking traits forced eye contact, and punished with electric shocks or restraint for stimmying. Lovis saw autistic people as empty vessels. You start from scratch. Modern studies show ABA's limited efficacy and catastrophic harm, including PTSD. Unlike banned conversion therapy, ABA remains legal globally, despite survivor-led condemnation. The neurodiversity movement emerged in the 1990s, reframing autism as natural variation, not defect. Advocates demand societal adaptation, not cures. In 2013, Asperger's was retired from diagnostics to avoid Nazi associations, focusing instead on support needs. Yet, some retain the label as part of their identity. Employment remains a battle. Only 35% of UK autistic adults work full-time due to hiring barriers and stigma. Groups like the National Autistic Society push for inclusion, echoing Lorna Wing's vision. Understand the individual. Autism's history is etched with pain, from Spiegelgrun's horrors to electric shocks. But it's also a story of resilience. Autistic minds built civilizations, Newton's laws, composed symphonies, Mozart, and led nations, Jefferson. Today, we stand at a crossroads. Erase differences or embrace them. As From Alex affirms, the spectrum isn't a disruption, it's diversity in its purest form. Our task? Listen, adapt, and honor autistic voices. They've always shaped the world.